Round 3 action of the Rotax Max Challenge. South Africa headed down to the Mother City and Killarney International Raceway. Action coming out of Junior Max now, and this class is certainly one of the most competitive that we've got in the country. Charles Visser ahead of Leighton Fourie, Joseph Ools, Conde, and look out for the battles coming from behind, because this is one of the most competitive classes.
You would have started the season with expectations, but then Conde at Vereniging had a wild one, you at Dube had a wild one. So talk to me about 2 rounds to go. This is basically a do or die weekend, eh?
Yeah. So came into this weekend like all the way at the back of the championship. So tried to come in here with open mindsets, knowing that we have nothing to lose. Just trying to win as many races as we can and be fast and competitive.
This track is different to any of our other circuits. How do you adapt your driving to that?
Yeah, it's a very physical track, especially on us drivers. Knowing that's like coming here on the first practice, we got a big wake-up call, being like a second off of the homeboys here. But I think all of us Joburg boys have slowly adapted.
Leighton, is there still room to turn the season around?
Well, our first part of the season wasn't the greatest. You do where the rain came and we were on slicks and it just messed us around. But I think we're on pace here in Cape Town, so we can get the best results that we can and see where it lies in the championship.
Is it possible, when you're not in the top 3-4 on this circuit, because there's a lot of overtaking opportunity, to come through and win a race? Joseph, don't run away.
Well, it always can change during the race. Like I said in Swartkorps, it always can go like if the front two can take each other out, and you can be lying second and pass and win the race when you're lying fourth in the second last lap. So it always can change like that.
Strategy for the weekend?
Well, just try and avoid all the crashing and all that stuff. Try keeping in that front back and don't let them break away, and just try win.
I really need a good race here because Ools is only 4 points ahead of me. Charles needs a bad race to actually come into second or third because he's 16 points ahead of me and I think 12 ahead of Joseph. And me and Wabuski is tied on points, so I really need a good race, and Wabuski doesn't. Wabuski can't get a good race, can't come ahead of me.
Joseph?
Yeah.
Home track advantage, I think, is more obvious on this track than any of the other circuits.
Yeah, this track's very physical, and yeah, it makes the drivers tired after a while. But you need to, roll in the laps, and obviously, the race is everything. Here at this track, I haven't qualified first for actually quite a long time for the beginning. And I've actually sometimes won, which means this track can change in races, and races are everything at this track. And yeah, we'll see what we can do tomorrow, but it's very tight. So I think it's going to be a great race tomorrow.
Well, it's a very important. I'm 20 points ahead in the championship, and this is my home national, so it sets a good home point for me, and that gives me the extra motivation that I need.
You, over your shoulder, have got your local lad, Joseph on this circuit is also very good.
Yes, he's very consistent on this track. Maybe he didn't get a good qualifying, but we always know he brings something out of the bag.
What's the strategy for the weekend?
Well, my strategy is just to keep calm, keep consistent, and just worry about myself.
Visser on the front end is always a dangerous thing, and Leighton Fourie has got to grips with his chassis now. Eventually could be a potential little threat to the front end. Ools side by side with Conde McQuena already wrapping up one South African championship, and he's not really got a chance in this one, so he's going to throw everything at it along with Leighton Fourie. We heard that in the interviews. Let's see whether or not they can catch the man who's got about a 21-point lead into this championship. And already action. 1, 2.
Oh, that's Siebel Solomon, Tate Bishop, and Storm Lanfer getting caught up in that first 180 mess.
Troy Dolenchek involved in that one as well, and look at Charles Visser disappearing at the front end, looking to just show the kind of pace that's required to win championships. The battle for second place heating up though. We've got 4 carts in that battle. I can pick up on the bright yellow helmet there of Leighton Fourie. The gold helmet, of course, is Joseph Oels. Not a good start there from Weberski. Expected to see him a little bit higher up, but he has battled here this weekend to get the setup on that DAW machine. But let's have a look and see as he comes to the front end and could potentially spoil the day by the end of this one. We've got 15 laps of action coming here in the first heat. And look at the action already between Mokoena and Leighton Fourie.
Mokoena and Fourie looking very strong behind Joey Oels. They're getting onto turning a 4-car length gap into a 2-car length gap quite quickly and getting onto the back of him here through the right hander. Conde Mokoena getting past Leighton Fourie the previous lap. He's very strong on the brakes into this golf club section. He'll be able to pull those 2-car lengths back straight away.
You mentioned Tate Bishop. He's made up a lot of ground and already started to come back into the mix. That's good recovery. We saw like a little bit of action in that first lap with a couple of karts coming together. Coming together. No one's going to come together with Charles Visser with the kind of pace he's running. Look at that. 42's already out of him. I think the only man to match him at this stage could be Conde Mokoena as he goes on the defensive. Well, I should say Joseph Oels goes on the defensive on Mokoena, but Mokoena goes on the attack. There you go. Mokoena diving through, and Leighton Fourie follows him. Oels getting forced onto the dirty stuff, and I think that's allowed. Yeah, wow. A big turnaround there between those 4 karts.
Fourie just not giving Joseph Oels enough room to get back onto the circuit. Nothing wrong with that. You made the move stick through second 180. Oels maybe should have backed out of it and come in behind him, but try to hang around the outside and end up losing 1, 2, 3 places there.
Not what he was expecting, that's for sure, heading into the 180s. Visser out front. Conde Mokoena in second now. There's a move on the inside. Akil Alibi, who's already secured himself a seat to the World Finals, now looking for an opportunity to maybe just get some more points back in this championship. Good move there from him. He's now onto the tailpiece of Fourie. So the RKT boys going at it with the FA boys from Squadra Corsa and looking for chances to get away. But Visser is just disappearing at the front end.
4 OTKs in the top 4 there, and Joseph Oels catching onto the back of Vals there to make it 5 in the top 5. So the OTK product's doing really well down here in Cape Town. I think so far they've won every single class they've competed in.
You know, it's been a great dominant ride from them, that's for sure. But let's see whether or not they can do anything about the man out front who is disappearing. There's no doubt about it. Oh, a change up there. There you go. Oh, a little bit of a move. Can he make it stick? Here we go. Oh, this is fantastic.
3 into 1.
Akil Levi now getting into the mix as well.
How was that move?
Great stuff from Levi. He gets ahead of Mokoena and Fourie, but nothing in it between those 3. There's not 1 inch between those karts. Levi's pulled a small margin only because Mokoena had to go defensive to keep out Fourie and had to just compromise his drive out of the 180s.
Mokoena being the fastest man on the circuit. I'm sure he'll get onto the back of Alibi quite quickly. Joseph Oels already dispatched Alison getting onto the back of these 2 as well. So we're going to have a full kart battle for second place. Visser is gone.
Now, Visser's gone. Fourie back up into third. Now looking to close down on his stablemate from RKT as they head down onto the braking markers. Oh, what a move from Oels. Oels dives on the inside. Mokoena has to give that one up. And look how tight it is between these guys. Brilliant stuff as Joseph Oels just managed to find a way through there. But the 2 stablemates now fighting hard. So you've got RKT 1 and 2, 2 and 3 on the road, 4 and 5. At this stage, it is so close between Joseph Oels and Conde Mokoena. Mokoena, though, as you said, looking to put in the hot lap times. Let's see whether or not he can bridge that gap again and get back into the mix. Tate Bishop just behind them. Look out for Jared Weberski, Nati Masamanga, and of course Ethan Kutsia just behind them.
Tate Bishop showing a great bit of pace there to get back onto the back of this group as quickly as he did after that first 180 incident or second corner incident. As Joseph Oels down the inside of Leighton Fourie. Joseph Oels obviously quite a bit quicker than the boys behind him and moving up the field quite quickly.
Oels fighting with Fourie now as they come out of the 180s. And has slowed the 2 of them up ever so slightly, and Mokoena now looking to capitalize on that. Akil Aliba getting away and leaving this little pack to fight out for third. So you've got a comfortable margin for first place. Charles Visser, he's got the hotel bill already. That's how far ahead he is. He's not even worried about anybody else. Second place, it's Aliba. Third place battle, that's what you see right now. Oels and Fourie.
Fourie would be clever just to use Oels to get onto the back of Alibi, because Alibi managed to get quite a decent gap when the fighting was going on behind him. So get onto the back of Joey. Joey seems to be one of the quicker one out there, and use him to get onto the back of Alibi.
No, this is fantastic action and exactly what we expected out of the juniors. Bit of a change up there as they come through. Look at the way things are going, and all of a sudden you're going to see Tate Bishop applying the pressure. Oels, Fourie, Mokoena. And just behind them, as I said, you can see a little bit of manoeuvring happening. And included in that manoeuvring, of course, is Jaden Else. We've kind of missed him on a few occasions, but he's definitely in this pack. Else looking for a chance. Gonna have to work hard here. It's not going to be an easy one for him. Alibi starting to be closed down by Uls Fari. Jaden Else there as well, and looks like a bit of a nose cone problem there for one of the carts. I think Uls could be in trouble, and so could McQuena. And the two of them coming very, very close together now. Fari is the meat and the sandwich between those two, but let's keep an eye and see what's happening. I think Jaden Else could be potentially involved here with a bit of a nose cone infringement. We'll have to wait and see at the end of this race.
Yeah, the CRGs are quite visible when they get a nose cone penalty. The nose cone actually drops down, and you can see it moving around quite a bit on the bumps. So Else definitely in a bit of trouble there with a nose cone penalty, but we'll see after the race. But the gap to Alibi is getting smaller and smaller by the minute. These three being very clever, or these five being very clever, just to keep their heads down, keep on the back of the car in front of them, and just work their way out to Alibi.
Working together as well, which is kind of what they need to do. You can't be fighting right now if you want to bridge a gap. Uls bringing along Fari and McQuena for the ride. McQuena happy to sit behind his stablemate right now and bring the meat and the sandwich, as I said earlier on, between them, Leighton Fari along with them. And that gap is definitely coming down. Alibi could be potentially in trouble within the next couple of laps. We're all running wide there. Looks like we've got a mistake. Jaden Else has made a mistake. He's run wide, completely off track. Yo, that's huge for him. So Charles Fisser, you were about to say, is not even in the same shot. He's disappeared at the front end. Alibi still in second place, but they are closing down on him rapidly. And now with Jaden Else out the picture, they can kind of concentrate on closing down on Akil Alibi.
Yeah, Akil trying his best to keep smooth and neat and tidy, but three cars chasing one, it's always going to be difficult to stay out in front. And Joey is always quick on the circuit. His home circuit, his home ground, he's going to be doing well to catch on to him.
And he's doing just that. You can see Leighton Fari just adjusting a few things down that back straight. Conde McKenna right on his tail. Tate Bishop just behind them, about half a cart length off. But how bumpy is the circuit got? It really is. Every single time they come down that back straight. In fact, almost all around the track, the bumps are certainly affecting the drivers and the cart's abilities on their setup.
Leighton Fari was just opening the radiator flap there as Conde McQueen goes past him. Leighton maybe left the opening of the flap there a bit too late, running a bit too hot, so losing a bit of top end, losing a bit of engine HP there. So a bit of bargy, bit of pushing there on Conde. Maybe just settle down and wait for your temperatures to come down, and you can get back into this.
Yeah, Farina going to have to run behind Conde McQueen as they head up towards Joseph Uls. Uls doing the same thing, trying to close down on Alibi. Gap coming down lap by lap. Alibi could be in trouble. Coming out of the golf club. Tate Bishop waiting to pounce. Not a bad position to be in.
That gap back though.
Yeah, definitely. Uls on a move and right onto the back end of Alibi. About a cart length now under braking for turn one. That gold helmet. Every time Alibi looks behind him, he's going to be concerned. A little bit of a look back there from Conde McQueen, looking straight into the eyes of Leighton Fari into the 180s.
I think Alibi needs to start looking to be defensive now, because down the back straight, Joey could be making a move into the first part of the golf club on Akil Alibi.
Looking for a chance now. Uls is right there. Uls has closed that gap. It's incredible. It's only taken 2 or 3 laps. And what was almost 2 seconds up the road has come down to 0.2 of a second as they're coming across to complete another lap here.
The rest of the pack is there now as well as Conde McQueen gets into the back of Joey Hughes as well. So Akil Alibi losing a bit of pace. Joey down the inside now on Akil as he goes into turn 1.
And here comes Conde. Conde had a look as well, couldn't quite make it stick. But Conde definitely had a look up the inside of Akil Alibi this time into the 180s.
Alibi goes wide, loses 2 places.
Oh, there's an issue there on Akil's cart. He wouldn't drop that far back that rapidly. And now looking to go keep out Tate Bishop. 5 carts now in the steam train as they head down towards that back straightaway. Joseph Uls. Oh, McQueen had a look over the shoulder at the same time as Uls.
Oh, it's getting a tidy now into the golf club. He's down the inside of Joey. He's through, and it's allowed free through as well. Joey now back down 3 places from leading this group.
Uls leads out, going in there, but loses 2 carts. Position coming out, and nearly 3, because here comes Alibi back at him. Whatever the issue was on Akil's cart, his teams have sorted it out. He now goes on the attack onto the back end of Joseph Uls. Tate Bishop in there as well. 3 carts fighting for 4, 5, and 6 on the track as they come down into the 180s again.
Joey running very defensive through the second 180 to keep Akil behind him. Needs to get a move on though and get onto the group of 2 in front. That gap that he's lost is ginormous now after only 3 corners.
Conde McQueen and Leighton Fari getting away from these guys as they start to have a little bit of an in-house fight there. Oh, Tate Bishop capitalizing on a little touch. Bishop dives on the inside as we see a little bit of maneuver there. And Akila Levi got forced wide. Checkered flag for Charles Visser. What a dominant drive there from him. Not another kart in sight as he turns into turn 1. Visser taking the win, eventually ahead of Conde McQuena, who hung on to beat out Leighton Fourie. Joseph Ools comes through for 4th place ahead of Tate Bishop, Akila Levi, Jared Roberski in 7th, Nati Musamanga there in 8th place with Ethan Kutsia and Patrizi in 10th.
Well, it was a good start. I went to the inside. I was started on the inside. Obviously, when I looked behind me the first time, I saw they started to tussle, and I saw if I get some clear laps, then I would pull away a bit.
It was a tough race, coming down to a last lap move. Just hectic action every lap, so it was a brilliant race. Next race, I think I'm starting pole on the times, so I just need to try and stick with the quickest oak Charles, which will be Charles. Just try and open a gap, and yeah.
It was good. It started off a little bit chaotic in the beginning. Then it calmed down in the middle of the race, and then at the end, we all got aggressive to try and get that podium. And unfortunately, Joey got moved wide, so I got the podium. But yeah.
Your second race, second heat.
Just hoping for another podium, I guess. We're going to see what our best results are. We're going to try and push our hardest today, try and get the best results we can. So we'll see.
So we head now into heat number 2. Conde McQuena's on the front row alongside Charles Visser. But what would the team have done, Carl? I mean, the dominance of Charles Visser was just untouchable in heat number 1. There's going to be some turning of spanners, and I'm sure some race strategies played around with. McQuena's at the front. That could be one of the strategies they'll look at. Get to the front and maybe try and keep Charles out. But with the kind of dominance he's had, is there any answer for him?
McQuena running super deep there into the first 180. Maybe thought Visser was there, but if I had any of these drivers in my stable, it would be attack him from lap 1 and make sure you keep him behind him, because the consistency he's been showing is unbelievable. His lap times weren't particularly fast, but he was super consistent.
And he's at the front already. So it hasn't worked out. So he's got to the front ahead of McQuena. McQuena's ahead of Fourie. Fourie comes through there just ahead of a much better start, picking up on the black helmet of Patrizi. Roberski not in there again. So Jared Roberski really battling this weekend. You can see Troy Dolenschek not getting involved in an incident. Also going to be a factor into the second race. Let's see whether or not he can do anything about the front end of this field.
The one thing Visser's kart is very strong in the first opening laps of the race, so that's where he builds his gap. So the fighting needs to stay minimal to stay in check with Charles Visser.
Nice start from Akila Levi as well. He's onto the back end of Joey Ools as they come out of the 180s. As they head onto that back straight, Tate Bishop and Jaden Else back into the mix as well. Else getting the nose cone infringement as well as running wide on his own in the first heat. So he's got to make up some ground now, has young Jaden, as they come into the latter part of the race of this first lap. And you can see absolutely dominant factor once again from Visser. But this time, the FA of Conde McQuena and that RKT machine. It's a Tony Kart chassis that he runs in the RKT stable there of Leighton Fourie, trying to stay with Charles Visser. Not letting him get away.
They seem to have gotten it right this race. They've stayed in check with him for the first opening laps, and that was when he was really strong in the first heat. So if they can just keep check with him for the next couple of laps, he shouldn't be able to get away like he did in the first heat.
Troy Dolenschek certainly looking to stay with his front end as well. Remember, he was involved in that incident coming into the 180s in the first race, and now having a bit of clear air to play with, could potentially be one of the front runners. He's right onto the back end there of Akila Levi as they come through to complete another lap.
McQuena and Fourie already starting their shenanigans again and allowing Visser to get away. They're passing each other again. McQuena going defensive on Ools. So Leighton getting past McQuena, and now McQuena playing the defensive game on Ools is just making gaps through the field.
And Ools having to go around the outside. Akila Levi dives on the inside. Oh, Dolenschek right over the front end of Ools. The two of them coming together. The two Cape Town boys unfortunately tagging each other through the 180s. Dolenschek loses out massive ground there. And I think Ools might have lost a bit of ground as well. Levi dives on the inside of McQuena going into the big right-hander at the bottom end of the golf club. And that is now for third place. Leighton Fourie pulling away, looking to try and stay with Charles Visser. He's the only man who kind of is matching the pace of Visser. In fact, he's gone slightly quicker than Visser there. And Leighton Fourie, a tenth of a second, I should say, quicker than Visser. But Visser just putting in non-stop 42s throughout the race.
McQueen looking racy behind Alibi, hoping to get past, but the defensive game he was playing has lost in the gap on the front too, so he's got his work cut out for him to get back up to the front.
Speaking of getting to the front, two boys involved in that incident in the 180s, Joseph Ools and Dolanchek, haven't lost too much ground in terms of their fight to the front end. They're on the back end here and looking for a way to close in. It's not too far off the back end. As you can see, Ools has already made up the ground and could potentially be through on those two if he can just keep up the kind of pace he's got so far. Across the line, Fisser and Faree disappearing at the front end, ever so slightly over Akil Levi and Conde McQueen as McQueen dives on the inside of Akil and gets through.
As fun as this fight is to watch, it's not really helping their cause race-wise. First one, Eddie, Conde McQueen tells Akil, come, let's go fetch the other boys, but like we were talking about earlier, that sign doesn't often work.
No, hardly ever. It's kind of like red to a bull, more importantly. I think that's what Akil is going to be looking for right now as McQueen starts to bring him along. Behind them, it's opening up into a 2, 4, 6, 8 car battle. An 8-car battle for 5th place on track. Nati Msimanga's there, Jaden Els, Jared Roberski, Sibo Solomon, and Joseph Ellerine. We haven't really mentioned him throughout the racing, but Joseph Ellerine now back up into a possibility of a top 10.
Troy Dolanchik looking very racy there behind us as they head down into the first turn. He's down the inside and got it done already. Good move from Troy Dolanchik, no contact this time.
Now keeping it smooth, keeping it pretty tight through there. As you can see just behind them, starting to get into the mix here as well. All of a sudden, Roberski's back up there. Hasn't quite had the outing that we saw in the previous round. And Jared Roberski definitely looking for an opportunity here to just get into the mix. Hasn't been quite there this weekend, as I said, but a much better outing here in heat number 2.
Massive group of cars here fighting it out for what is essentially 4th place with the other 4, or 5th place with the other 5 checked out in front.
So Ools hanging on, but only just. There goes Alibi. That's the 3rd and 4th now. We've got to change up for 5th place.
There's Bishop and Troy getting past in one corner there.
Ools just opening up the door, and you don't want to do that. Dolanchek now gets ahead of Bishop. Bishop follows Dolanchek through. Ools on his tail. So tight between the two of them. Jaden Els having to just fend off the attacks coming left, right, and centre. So Dolanchek leads out at this point ahead of Tate Bishop. And Jaden Els trying to close in and get through, but he's got to try and make up some ground there. He lost out earlier on. And it's not going to be easy, not when you're fighting so close.
Jared Roberski finding a little bit more pace between the first and the second heat. He's looking a bit threatening there in the mid-pack of this group, but he needs to start moving forward and not backwards as Kutsia goes down the inside of him.
Now, good move there from Kutsia. Find a way through on the Roberski DAW car. And you can see the Praga man not quite on the same kind of pace as the rest of the chassis up front. Good move there from Ools. Comes back and retakes the position from Tate Bishop. And now trying to find a way through on Dolanchek.
McQueen and Alibi all on their own there for 3rd place. Troy Dolanchik getting away from the group slightly, but I'm sure Joey Ools has got something to say about that. Through Golf Club, Joseph has been on fire all weekend. Pulled the car length there on Bishop, 1 corner.
Across the line and another lap completed. This is another 15-lap heat headed our way. That is 3 and 4. 1st and 2nd have disappeared at the front end. We're not going to see much of Leighton Free or Charles Fisser, but we're continuing to watch this little fight. As every time they climb on the brakes, there's a possibility of a change-up in positions.
As you say that. Els goes past on Tate Bishop. Good move there into the second 180. This time looks like his nose cone's intact for this event. And Tate running a strange line through the chicane and losing 2 places there.
Now it looks like Tate Bishop could be in a bit of trouble there. Sibu Solomon going to look to capitalise on manoeuvres that Tate Bishop doesn't normally make. Watch out for him coming through. Nati Msimanga's also up there as well. Great to see those two cotters in the mix amongst Jaden Els, Jared Roberski and Joe Ellerine. Down to turn 1. Dolanchek goes defensive. Joseph Ools. Clips the inside curb. Cost him slightly there.
Yeah, it looked like he ran into the back there of Troy Dolanchik just slightly. I don't know if Troy got off the gas or what he did, but Joey just misread the situation altogether and ended up running into the back of him.
Trying to avoid damaging the nose cone as well. We have to watch out for that. Could be a potential nose cone infringement, I think. Let's wait and see what happens. Now as we head in, Joseph Ools could have damaged that front nose cone with that manoeuvre. We'll wait and see what the clock of the course says at the end of this race. But back to 3rd and 4th place. There's 1st and 2nd. Haven't seen them for a while. 3rd and 4th. It's McQueen And now down onto the braking park is Troy Dolenchek, comfortably on his own in 5th place.
Just all moving past Jaden Alstead, and clearly playing one of the positions he's lost. Next up will be Nati for him, and then again Troy Dolenchek. He can try it again before the end of the race.
180s is where the action's been almost all day long. Not much action between Levi and McQuena. They're trying to work together, I think, to bridge the gap to 1st and 2nd. But I think that gap is too big. Fourie and Visser got it done early on. And now Leighton Fourie, I don't know if he's going to be able to match the pace of Charles Visser. Although he has gone slightly quicker than him in the overall lap times he's pulled, Visser's been the more consistent of the two.
Yeah, this working together would have worked a little bit early on in the race. I think now it's just a little bit too late.
Let's see whether or not it's going to be able to do anything about it. Visser's put the hammer down now on these last 2 laps and pulled 2 kart lengths over Fourie. Evenly matched between McQuena and Levi. And I think that's how it's going to remain. The 415 car taking on a chance of note. Will Akila Levi try something here on McQuena? He's got to have a go. He's got to try and find a way through there on McQuena if he's to make any maneuvers up the road here.
Alibi's been very strong through the pit complex here, just in front of the start-finish, in front of the pit lane onto the start-finish straight. So maybe a move into turn 1 or into the first one. Eddie is on for Alibi now.
Turn 1, that's gone. He hasn't tried it yet. Dolenchek on his own sim. The rest of the field starting to sort themselves out pretty rapidly there, I'd have to say. You can see Jaden Else, and it looks like a little bit of issues there for Joseph Bulls as well. He seems to be slowing up ever so slightly. He's been caught by a couple of the karters in that back. Let's keep an eye and see what happens with him. 1 and 2. No worries for them. 3 and 4 pretty much the same. And remaining station there, although I think there's going to be a move here soon from Akila Levi. Setting things up, waiting to pounce.
Looking very hungry there behind him. I still think turn 1 will be the move to have it done though, with 1 lap left to go.
1 to go here for Visser. Faurie's right there. Leighton Fourie will look for a chance if 1 opens up. He's not going to take a chance unless there's an opportunity. And I think with Visser's lines around here and the way he's been driving all race long, Leighton Fourie will have to settle for 2nd place. Onto that back straight, he's pulled ever so slight margin over Fourie. Now let's see what's going to happen for 3 and 4. Leaders coming down. Oh, in the background.
Big noise at the back there.
Yo, big maneuver. I think that might be Akila Levi who's gone on the inside of McQuena to try and pull something. Didn't quite make it stick.
And I already see McQuena in the background.
Yeah, but no Levi. Flags out. Visser with another win ahead of Fourie. McQuena comes through and no Levi. It's Troy Dolenchek's pink helmet you can pick up in the background who comes through there for 4th place ahead of Nati Musamanga who finished in 5th. Good effort for him, beating Jaden Alf to 6th. Jared Roberski in 7th. Sibo Solomon, Joe Ellerine and Tate Bishop down in 10th. Joseph Ulls, I think, was given that nose cone infringement penalty and he finishes in 11th.
Well, it was a good race. I struggled a bit in the beginning getting past Conde, but he made a mistake and I capitalized on it.
It went well. It was a really quiet race. In the beginning it was a little bit of tussle and tassel, but after that, once I got into 2nd, I just got behind Charles Slipstream to get a nice lap time. And unfortunately I just couldn't catch him at the end, but it was a good race and up to the next one.
It was a tough race. I'm not 100% sure what happened. I just went around the corner, looked back, and then I saw the other competitor was off. It was an unfortunate incident, but it happens.
Still a nice race there, huh?
It was a tough race. From the first lap to the last lap, always like under pressure the whole race, but it happens.
Junior Max, 20 laps of action for the final heat, and on the front row, here we go. This should be some fun and games, eh? Here they go.
Yeah?
Down towards turn 1. And not quite what we expected to see at the front end of this final heat, but Troy Dolenchek is into 2nd place. And a little bit of touching through there. Who's come out the best out of the pack?
We got Als, Dolenchek and Ulls with Fourie in there as well. Where is Charles Visser?
Visser right back in 7th and 8th place and not getting the start he wanted. So let's see how he makes his way through now. We've seen him start at the front. Let's see him start in the mid-pack and see if he can get to the front end by the end of the race.
Fourie already passed Troy Dolenchek, now up into 3rd place. They head into the golf club. Very strong through there is Joseph Wools, but so is Els in that CRG. They seem to have figured something out on that kart in this last heat. Leo Polter obviously working hard to get that kart to handle the way Els needs it. But Visser just here behind it looks like a kill alibi.
Yeah. Alibi in there as well and looking for a chance to maybe just change his luck so far today. As they come up under braking for the 180s. Dolenchek applying the pressure onto Fari, Alibi and Visser. And the rest of the pack.
Dolenchek down the inside there on Visser. Gives him a slight tap and allows Alibi and Visser through. So Fari relegated almost 5 places there. Right behind him now is Conde Mokoena, who's going down the inside into Golf Club.
And I think Mokoena might have made that stick. As they come through there, change up for the lead. Ulster's at the front. Yeah, and as he comes through there, you can see he's going to try and get away now. Have a look at Charles Visser. Visser seems to be dropping back there ever so slightly. Just want to have a look and see if we pick up on the kart there. Is there an issue on the back of that kart? I think he might have just got a little tag there on that maneuver.
Oh, Alibi down the inside now. Troy Dolenchek can't get it done. And that just seems to be slowing Visser up. I don't know if he can move through the pack the way these guys are defending. He's round the outside now.
No, he seems to be okay right now, but as they come through, he'll be looking to try and keep out the attacks coming from behind Visser, and it's not where he wants to be. He's been at the front end all races long, and now sitting in 5th place on track.
Fari and Mokoena starting their old story again. They're busy fighting it out at the back behind this group. And big fighting, lots of wheel touching and losing lots of ground on this group now.
Now, Dolenchek leading this second pack on the road. And there's 1 and 2. So Uls ahead of Els. Then you've got Dolenchek, Alibi, Visser, and right on their tail pushing through there. Keep an eye on that, because I think we're going to have to watch out for the maneuvers that are going to be needed to be made here if Visser wants the perfect day. There he goes, diving on the inside of a kill Alibi. Can't make it stick this time.
It's allowed Nati up the inside of him now, and Nati's gone straight through on Visser and lost more time to a kill Alibi behind him.
I think there's a problem on that back bumper. He's dragging that back bumper ever so slightly. He can't see it. We haven't quite picked it up on a shot just yet, but it looks like that he's getting a bit of drag coefficient there, and it's slowing him down.
You can see it now as you'll come past through the pit complex. You'll see it as he turns right here. There it is. Bumper dragging on the floor.
So the bumper problem there for Visser is going to be deadly.
You see him looking, but he just keeps looking the wrong side.
He's going to keep falling back by the wayside, coming into the clutches of all the other karters behind him. Next one up, Fari.
He's still running defensive to keep Free behind him. Free going to try and double back here, but that's just going to allow Mokoena through the inside. 2 into the chicane. Is it going to go, boys?
Yeah, and I think Mokoena realised that. He backed out. Mokoena backed out of that one. He said, I'll fight another lap, get you on the next one.
Live to fight another day.
Yeah, or just at least another lap. Right, so into the first quarter of this race. Remember, there's 20 laps of action this time. And you can see that there's no holds barred here between our Junior Max drivers.
Yeah, that loose bumper seems to be unsettling that car quite badly. He can't seem to brake as late as he could or turn it as hard as he used to. And as I said, he just can't outbrake Leighton Free. You can see the back of that car sliding around all over the place.
And Mokoena dives on the inside as he slides wide. Now, how is this going to affect the final results of the day? Charles Visser has been dominant all day long. And he's now having to work against something that he can't even see. As you said, Carl, he keeps looking over the wrong shoulder, trying to work out what's gone wrong on his kart and why he's being slowed up so dramatically.
I don't think knowing it's what's slowing you down is going to help much, but I suppose it maybe it'll help him. I don't know. Who knows?
Let's see what happens. Right, as we go in here, Mokoena keeping Fari well within his grasps. Akil Aliba starting to close that gap down ever so slightly as well. We can see a little bit of a change up at the front end here. Let's wait and see whether it's going to be Uls or Els who takes this victory.
This class gets very segregated very quickly. There's always groups of 2 or 3. Never really one big massive group, although saying that behind this Visser fight here, there's a big 4 or 5 cars fighting it out for a win, for all positions.
Good to see that. Good to see that. Werberski's in there, so is Daniel De Pava, Ethan Kutsia, and Storm Lanfer. That's how things have turned around here for this third and final heat.
2 and 3.
Dolenchek has got through, and he's now up in the second place.
Chasing on Joseph Wools.
Els has lost out some ground there. Els has made a mistake somewhere on track. Dolenchek has capitalised on that, and he's now trying to close down, as you said, on Joseph Wools, who leads things out. Alibi waiting for something to go wrong with any one of the 2 guys in front. Alibi also looking to turn his luck around for the last heat of the day for Junior Max.
Troy Dolenchek got a real turn of pace on him now. coming close onto the back of Joseph Walls. I think the time difference there, at least 0.2, 0.3 of a second. He's getting onto him quite quickly.
Look at the lap times we're seeing out of these guys. Incredible stuff. So watch out for Dolenchek. Arguably the most dangerous man on track at the moment, pulling away from Jaden Else and looking to close down on Joseph Ools. Levi hoping that the three of them are going to slow each other down and give him a chance to bridge that gap as well.
Yeah, Keel after that disaster in the second heat, running off into Golf Club. Still not sure quite what happened there, but unfortunately not finishing where he should have in that heat.
Look at where Fissers ended up. He's right into the back end of the field here, and he's losing ground to Tate Bishop, Woberski, DePaiva and Kutsia. So there's a potential he could end up outside the top 10 with that dragging bumper.
Kutsia able to get on the inside there of Storm there as they head into Golf Club. I wonder if he actually got that move completed.
Hard breaking into one. Positions remain the same for the top 8. 9th place about to change up. Oh, it's so close. Tate Bishop diving left. Couldn't quite make it stick though. And we'll have to wait and see how that ended up. 11 of 20, just over the halfway stage. And Dolenchek is now close right onto the bumper of our leader, Joseph Ools.
Troy and Joey used to duking it out in the regional championship here in Cape Town, so they know each other quite well. Troy down the inside now, and massive contact and turned him around. That
and off
move
the track.
wasn't on.
Ools not happy about that. He climbs out trying to get the cart back on track. He's going to lose out lots of ground here. Elsa's taken the lead, but Dolenchek seems to have survived and has maintained second ahead of Levi. So it's very close there for second and third. Yeah, Levi right on his tail, but Dolenchek very lucky to survive that one, buddy.
Yeah, very lucky. Just a car went over the top of the front wheels, so just slowed him down ever so much, but doesn't look like there's any damage to that cart. It doesn't even look like it's taken the nose cone in. So it was wheel and wheel contact, and Troy getting away with the best there.
So now looking to get back to the front as soon as possible. Levi coming along for the ride. Leighton Fourie. Wow, because of that incident, everybody slowed up slightly, and Leighton Fourie has also been able to just bridge that gap ever so slightly, and now in with a shot of catching a Levi.
It always interests me to see when there's one cart with its radiator flap closed and 3 others with them open, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Troy and maybe running slightly lower temperatures on the engines than everybody else. Troy being run by Ralph Odendahl. Him and I have had many an epic battle here at this circuit, and Ralph knows what he's doing when it comes to carb setup. Obviously one of the owners of Punjabi race engines.
Across the line, another lap completed. Else from Dolenchek. Dolenchek just putting in one of the hardest laps we've seen of the race. So good effort there from Troy. It's closed him right onto the back end of Jaden Else, and it's brought along a Levi and Fourie. So they've just capitalized on the pace that's coming out of Dolenchek. Dolenchek, I think, could potentially be a race winner here.
And as we know from previous heats, wherever there's Fourie, there's Mokoena. Seems like they seem to be running nose to tail on every event, so you can trust Mokoena's going to be on this group shortly too.
And a bit of a magnetic effect those two have on each other. They just stick together. Behind them is Nati Msamanga, and of course look out for Tate Bishop. But here we go, across the line down towards turn 1. Could we see a move here? Dolenchek might not go too soon. Might be a little bit too early to go there and make the move stick. It'll give Jaden Else a chance to come back at him. So he might just wait a little bit longer into the race.
Going to do it second 180 here again. Gets the move done this time. Gets it down nice and deep down the inside. Fourie and Alubai getting all sorts of crossed up out of the second 180. Allowing Mokoena to come through on Fourie. And once again, it's Mokoena and Fourie down the back straight.
I love the fact that Mokoena just looked down and went, jeez, I can't believe I survived that. Those two came together big time. There's a big sigh of relief there, I think, from Mokoena. As they come across the line, Faurie's right with him. Fourie looking to go defend on the attack. Oh!
Bit of a push
so
there.
Close, a little touch.
Bit of a push there, and he gets it through.
That is great stuff. Fantastic action there from those two as they come in. And that's for third place. It's not done yet.
Not over yet. These two can't seem to just settle. So Mokoena can't have Fourie in front, and Fourie can't have Mokoena in front.
Yeah. Well, change up for the lead as well in that little mix. Dolenchek's got through on Else and pulled away. A Levi under attack now. Nati Osamangi looking for a way through. And Nati is heading a super end to these last two heats. Absolutely brilliant stuff from him as he starts to apply the pressure onto the back end of Akila Levi. Another lap down. Dolenchek ahead of Else, ahead of Fourie, ahead of this battle.
Alubai running tight there to keep Nati behind him. And whoa, DePaiva with a big dive on Fisser, but only getting one place there. Unable to make it stick. It's coming back at him now into the first 180. Getting a little bit messier in the midfield.
Yeah, I think it's all because of Charles Visser and that bumper. It's just brought everybody into the mix once again, and I think Visser could be in a bit of trouble here. They're going to lose more and more ground. We got 1 lap to go here for our leader, Troy Dolenchek. Jaden Else should be able to hang on for second. The battle's for third.
Very interested in this battle. Mokoena and Fourie again.
And this either going to end up good or bad.
Fourie tight inside into the first 180, tight inside into the second 180. Mokoena trying to do the shotgun, the
slingshot.
So that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one I was looking for. Into the 180s now. Fourie going deep inside. Mokoena going to hit him with a cutback. Here it comes. There's the cutback. On the brakes, nice and early, and stay still.
Oh, Fourie comes straight back at him. What was that? Little brake test there, I think, out of Mokoena, eh?
And it's actually hits him so hard, he's pushed the nose gun into the front wheel.
Oh, that's going to be costly there for Leighton Fourie as they come across the line. The win goes to Dolenchek. Else takes second. Mokoena comes through for third. He should be able to hang on for that third place. Keelan Levi, unfortunately for Leighton Fourie, is going to be gifted fourth place because Fourie is going to get that nose cone infringement. So Fourie drops down into sixth place behind Nati Msimanga, and Tate Bishop finishes 7 ahead of Waberski, DePaiva, and Kutsia, your top 10.
Well, a couple laps from the end, I got into a bit of an incident with another competitor, and there was a big gap to first place, and I just put my head down and I went. And we caught up to him, and as soon as I got past him, I knew that I had the pace to get further away from him, so I could actually win the race.
It wasn't that easy, but we got a bit lucky. First, we got lucky in the second heat, then we got a quick lap in to start pole. And obviously when you start pole, you get a bit of a head start on the other guys. But still, the race was hard. I knew the Cape Townians were going to be fast because this is their only track. They practice here, they do lots of laps. And we got a bit lucky with the guys behind us having a tussle, so they didn't catch me and overtake me, so that I pulled back in the train. So yeah, but I'm happy with my result.
Third for the last one, ecstatic. Came down to a last corner move. Was very close, but awesome race.